Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to At the Movies with Caleb Coho. I am your host, Caleb Coho, and today we're going to do a bit of a recap as to the last two weekends, as I have missed updating you on my predictions from the weekend prior. I haven't talked about the last weekend. I have two new movie reviews, and we're going to spend a bunch of the episode recapping that huge Justice League news reveal from the other day, powered by Collider. Now, first, I want to get into box office numbers for the weekend of June 10th through the 12th, which was the weekend of my predictions. I had no idea The Conjuring 2 would come out on top. The Conjuring 2 made $40.4 million over that total weekend gross. I had predicted Now You See Me 2, which came in third with $22.3, falling just $2 million behind Warcraft at second. At fourth was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows with 14.3, and fifth was X-Men Apocalypse with 9.9. Now, the studio estimates for them were a little off. Now You See Me 2 made more than the actual prediction for the studio. It made $23 million, and the studio predicted 22.3. Warcraft was just a little over what the actual, or was predicted a little bit higher than what it was at. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to reverse that. Now You See Me 2 made about a little bit less than the prediction, along with Warcraft and The Conjuring 2. All the predictions were slightly, or actually Conjuring 2 was higher than its prediction, but The Conjuring 2 still came out on top. It had the highest predictions. Now You See Me 2 was in third. Screens and showings. Conjuring 2 was screened in 3,343 theaters, averaging about $12,087 at each theater, with an estimated 4,800 screenings. Warcraft screened in 3,400 theaters and made just about a little over 7,000. Now You See Me 2 was screened in the least amount of theaters of the list, 3,232, and made the lowest amount on this list, averaged 6,925 per screening. Now, moving on to last weekend. Last weekend, Finding Dory stole the weekend in first, making $135 million opening weekend, which has been recorded as the highest opening weekend gross for an animated movie ever. In second was Central Intelligence, which brought in $35.5 million for the Warner Brothers team. It is shaping up to be the comedy of the summer, with The Conjuring 2 holding on at number 3, making 14.8, with a 63.2% drop. Now You See Me 2 coming in fourth, making 9.3 with a 58.1% drop. And Warcraft dropping all the way down to fifth with a 70% drop, making just $7.2 million for Universal. I think Warcraft getting smashed in the news hurt it the next weekend. Now You See Me 2, it's been kind of a steady sort of background player. I enjoyed Now You See Me 2. Not as much as the first one, but I enjoyed it. Finding Dory was a great gem, and we'll talk about Finding Dory in a bit, but I want to talk a little bit about Now You See Me 2 in my sort of review. Now You See Me 2 was not as thrilling as it could have been. It was pretty funny. The jokes, a few of them fell flat. The tricks felt more CGI than actual practical, like the last one. But you love the characters so much that you enjoy the story anyway. And it's kind of fun to see the twists. I feel like it just doesn't live up to the first one as much as it could have or should have. But it was alright. It was a pretty good movie. It holds up, in my opinion. Finding Dory, however, was really good. I found that Finding Dory totally did not exceed Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo, to me, is a perfect movie. Dory was nowhere close to beating it, but I loved Finding Dory nonetheless. It is a movie that ranks with Toy Story 2 in terms of sequels. It's not a Cars 2, but it's not a Toy Story 3, is how I would put it. With the Pixar movies, there's sort of a sort of list. My number one of all time, of course, is Finding Nemo. Number 2 is Ratatouille. Number 3 is Cars. Number 4 is number 3 is The Incredibles. Number 4 is Cars. But Finding Dory totally was better to me than a lot of the recent offerings from Pixar. I did not enjoy Inside Out as much as most people. I hated The Good Dinosaur, which is the first Pixar movie I've absolutely hated. I did not like Cars 2, which is universally ranked as the worst Pixar movie they made, but I don't know. I hated Brave. Monsters University was good in my opinion, but I've just not been feeling a lot of these last couple Pixar offerings. And Finding Dory comes out of nowhere and just steals the show. It's not a movie that transcends the genre. It's a movie that is just a really good family movie. But for me, Finding Nemo transcends the genre and is just a really good movie. I loved Finding Dory. It was so funny. It was so sweet or cute. I don't know how you say that. It was so cute to me. That little Dory voice. Loved it. Alrighty. Now, let's get a look at the release schedule coming up for this weekend. This weekend, new to theaters from STX Entertainment is Free State of Jones. That will be released to over 2,000 theaters nationwide and is ranked number 1 on the list of releases. First off, second listed is Independence Day Resurgence, coming out from Fox with over 4,000 theaters screening. I feel Resurgence will definitely win the weekend. Free State of Jones sliding into second. The Shallows in third. Sony and Columbia's The Shallows, which will be screened in 2,000 theaters, and The Neon Demon being the fourth biggest one, coming from Broad Green Pictures in just 783 theaters. I say Independence wins the weekend. Free State of Jones takes second. The Shallows in third, and The Neon Demon in fourth for the weekend. I don't know what to expect from this Independence Day sequel. I feel like it's going to be a lot of rehashing, and I don't know. I feel like it's going to be kind of your normal disaster flick, but I think it'll be fun, but it won't be better than the original or even a great movie. It'll just be a fun disaster flick, which I can say I don't really have much expectation for Independence Day 2, but I believe it'll be a fun one to go see in theaters. For box office predictions, I would say Resurgence makes anywhere from 150 to 200 million opening weekend, and that's probably a little generous. Free State of Jones, I would say, makes about 60 million this weekend. The Shallows will make about 40 million, and the Neon Demon, maybe 9 million. 8 maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know what to expect from either The Shallows or the Neon Demon. Both are classified as horror movies. Neon Demon is called a horror thriller. Shallows is just called horror. But that'll be interesting to see. Coming out this is our last weekend of June, isn't it? Let's see. This is the last movie-going weekend of June, I believe. Yes, it is. Other releases coming out this weekend are the independent film The Call Up, Sony Classics film Eat That Question, Frank Zappa in his own words, Argot Pictures From This Day Forward, The Orchard's Hunt for the Wilder People, Strands, The Kind Words, Cohen Media Group's Les Cowboys, The Lions Big Pictures, Raman Raghav 2.0, A24's Swiss Army Man, which will be screened in 3 theaters nationwide, Well Go USA's Movie 3 will be screened in 17 theaters, IFC's Wiener Dog will be screened in 2, as Sony Classics Eat That Question will be screened in 2 as well. These are the smaller, more independent releases. They'll be coming out this weekend, and that will close out the month of June. Looking at next weekend has 3 big movies coming out from Buena Vista and Disney, the BFG, which will be screened in 3,200 theaters nationwide. Warner Brothers' The Legend of Tarzan, which will be screened in 3,450 plus theaters nationwide. And Universal's The Purge Election Year, the third film in the Purge franchise, being screened in 2,700 theaters worldwide. Now, I'm not sure what to expect from any of these movies. I expect The Purge to pull out strong and win the weekend because it is a sequel, the BFG to come in a very slight second because it's Disney and The Legend of Tarzan to come in last, but that does not mean it is a failure at all. I don't have much expectation for Tarzan, but I will definitely go see The Legend of Tarzan due to that really good trailer. The other films coming out next weekend are Music Box Films' drama The Incident, The Orchard's documentary Life Animated, Roadside Attractions drama Our Kind of Traitor, and Magnolia's horror film Satanic. There is no release information for the 4 indie films. The week after this will be Universal's The Secret Life of Pets and Fox's Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. I expect the kids to show up strong and bring The Secret Life of Pets as the winners of that weekend. The weekend after, we have Sony and Columbia's Ghostbusters and Broad Green Pictures' The Infiltrator. I believe Ghostbusters will win the weekend regardless of all the fan backlash coming out from it. The weekend after, we'll see 3 films come out. Fox's Ice Age Collision Course, the 5th film in the animated franchise, Warner Brothers' Lights Out, and Paramount's Star Trek Beyond, the 13th film in the long-running Star Trek film franchise that's been around since 1979. Of course, the very tragic death of co-star Anton Yelchin, who played Chekhov in these last 3 movies, is very sad, and I believe that death may increase the viewings on Star Trek Beyond to help it maybe take the weekend. I think Star Trek Beyond will win with a very close second to Ice Age and third to Lights Out. The weekend after, of course, will be Universal's Jason Bourne, the 5th movie in the Bourne franchise, along with Lionsgate's thriller Nerve and STX Entertainment's Bad Moms. I believe Jason Bourne will crush that weekend with Nerve in second and Bad Moms in third. I, for one, am actually excited for Nerve because I saw that trailer while waiting for Now You See Me 2, and I absolutely was enthralled by it. And I think that might be one to look out for. And that will do it for July and my little sort of wrap-ups. We also have title changes for a couple movies that have come out. The most latest change has been to Warner Brothers' movie, the Lego Movie sequel, which has been renamed the Lego Movie 2. Not much of a big change. A few more recent changes included Universal's Ouija 2, which has now been renamed Ouija Origin of Evil, which will come out this October. Buena Vista's Mary Poppins, or Disney's Untitled Live Action number 2, has been renamed Mary Poppins Returns, which will be the sequel that will be coming out 50 years after the first movie with a totally new cast. Warner Brothers' Untitled Warner Brother event film has officially been titled Meg. I don't know what to expect from that either. Paramount's previously untitled Transformers 5 has been titled Transformer The Last Night. TriStar's Transpotting 2 has been renamed T2 Transpotting. Underworld 5 is officially taking the name Underworld Blood Wars. Spider-Man Homecoming, of course, being another fairly, not very recent rename, but recent in terms of movies. A Myers Christmas has been renamed Almost Christmas. Kingsman 2 has taken the name Kingsman: The Golden Circle. The untitled Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard film coming out from Paramount has been named Allied. The Jungle Book Origins was renamed Jungle Book. Besties was renamed The Edge of 17, and Arms and Dudes renamed War Dogs. Now, with those title changes out of the way, let's take a recap of the big Justice League news drop powered by Collider. Let's take a look. A bunch of news people, Collider included, saw a bunch of critics and reporters invited to the set of Justice League, where they were able to conduct on-set interviews with Ben Affleck, who plays Batman, Zack Snyder, who is directing, producers Deborah Snyder and Charles Roven, costume designer Michael Wilkson, and brief interviews with Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman, Ezra Miller, who plays The Flash, and Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg, and also got the opportunity to walk around a number of sets and learn a great deal about the follow-up to this year's Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Looking at some of the other news that's come out about it, the logo and synopsis were released. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find my information. Sorry. There was a lot of news as to what was seen and reported about, but the big takeaway was that of the set visit, where the tone of Justice League is going to be a lot different. Batman vs. Superman was dark and serious. They said, the Collider reports that we watched scenes that showed Bruce Wayne can smile, and that the Flash is going to be played with a lot of fun and youthful energy. He's someone who's really excited to be a hero. From most reports, I've heard that the Flash is going to be the highlight of the movie. I heard that there were two scenes that we saw. One was an edited one where Bruce Wayne meets the Flash, and another one where they all stand up on the rooftop meeting with Commissioner Gordon, and of course they all disappear, save for the Flash. The Flash sticks around and says the words, "Oh, they do that to you often?" or something like that. It's along the lines of, "Oh, they do this to you often? That's very rude," or something like that. It's along those lines. The logo looks brighter as well. It has a star separating the I and the C in Justice League. And the synopsis, if I can bring that up. But this Justice League movie is a movie that I'm actually very excited to see, because I really want to see what DC can do. And there was a lot of sort of confusion around what DC was going to do, how they were going to handle their bombshell sort of situation with Batman vs. Superman not performing as well as they wanted to. However, I believe that it's going to be actually really good. I have a lot of faith in this, and with all the reports on it, I'm very happy that it's supposedly doing well. Sorry, I'm still pulling up the information I can find. I know I should have this done by now, but I don't. Sorry. Again, though, I really am excited about what this could mean for DC. What I'm taking away is that they're listening. They're listening to the problems that people say that they have, that they had with Batman vs. Superman, and they're working on making it better. And I think that kind of makes me happy, because it means they're listening and that they're taking the concern seriously, and that really makes me kind of happy. It was also confirmed that the villain of Justice League will be Steppenwolf. If you do not know who Steppenwolf is the right-hand man to Darkseid, who, it makes sense as to why they make him the bad guy. I think it's cool that they're actually going to save Darkseid for the sequel, which would be kind of cool. I have some news. This comes courtesy of comicbookmovie.com. During the Justice League set visit, Ben Affleck was asked about the possibility of seeing the Scarlet Speedster taking on a sidekick-like role to the Dark Knight in the movie. However, Affleck doesn't think Ezra Miller would see their relationship that way. Ben Affleck says, "That's interesting. There's an element to that. There's a quality to really what Ezra Miller does that is young and fun and full of life and excited about what they're doing, that's so in contrast to who Batman is. There's a little bit of that natural yin and yang to playing scenes with him. There's not the ward aspect to it, like with Robin, but there's a little bit of the mentor, which you'd probably ask Ezra and he'd be like, screw that, he's not my mentor, but I think there's a little bit, and it's fun to play, definitely." A lot of the scene descriptions have said that Ezra Miller is going to be the highlight, the highlight of the movie, and I'm kind of excited about that. To see the Flash be the comedy and the comedic relief is sort of a relief. But there was so much news when I woke up that I was almost overwhelmed by all the news that was news that was coming out. And I didn't know how to take a lot of it. When they finally put it all in one place and broke it down, it kind of helped me digest it a little bit more, and I'm actually really excited about what they have to say. A new Batmobile, a new title, a new Justice League synopsis, which I will bring up right now. Aside from the new logo, this comes from IGN.com. Aside from the new logo, they released a synopsis as well. The Justice League logo it's brighter. It has a star in between the I and the C in Justice, and it looks brighter. All of it sort of looks a little bit more fun, I guess. But it's kind of cool. Here's the synopsis. Fueled by his restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfless act, Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally Diana Prince to face an even greater enemy. Together, Batman and Wonder Woman work quickly to find and recruit a team of metahumans to stand against this newly awakened threat. But despite the formation of this unprecedented League of Heroes, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash, it may already be too late to save the planet from an assault of catastrophic proportions. Directed by Zack Snyder, this marks the big screen debut of the Justice League, featuring an all-star lineup of Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and Ray Fisher. With the Henry Cavill in there, it means that Superman will be returning for Justice League despite his fate at the end of Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which I liked, and the fact that he's coming back for Justice League, I think he'll come back at the very end in Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker-esque style, The Force Awakens, and be a bigger part in the sequel in helping them fight Darkseid, and maybe even going and recruiting Green Lantern, because I noticed that they haven't cast anyone for Green Lantern, and that there's been no news of him being involved in the first Justice League movie, which really depresses me, because Green Lantern is one of my favorite characters that there is, and it's really, it's kind of depressing. I also have some new news about Justice League, is that it will no longer be a two-part movie after all. I think this was news that was kind of broken a while ago, but originally it was announced that Warner Brothers' Justice League would be a two-part film. Now it's announced that it's a standalone film and not a two-parter. The film's producers, Deborah Snyder and Charles Roven, informed the press that during a visit to the Leaston set of Justice League this past Friday. Later on, during the set visit, the press had the chance to ask Zack Snyder about Justice League Part 2. Here's what he had to say about that. The question was, is the second Justice League movie still tethered to this? Is that something that you still plan to direct? It was sort of announced early on in a shareholders meeting, but it sounds like they're closing that off for now. I think we still have a release date, was his answer. This isn't Part 1, though. You're not looking at this as Part 1. Oh, it is a complete movie. I mean, of course, it's not going to end in a big cliffhanger. You know, hopefully there's some reason to go. The movie doesn't end and you go, okay, well, that's the DC... And you go, okay, well, that's the DC universe. So it sounds like it being condensed into one part means that Part 2, which comes out in 2019, will actually be a sequel, and getting a second movie out within a couple of years is pretty big. With Avengers being a success, it took them 3 years to get the sequel out. Well, Justice League, it sounds like, as soon as this one will be done, they'll be breaking ground on the second one and get that out at the same time in 2019. Looking at DC's full-scale lineup, Batman vs. Superman was set to be the kickoff to the universe. This August, we get Suicide Squad as the next piece of that, starring Jared Leto, Will Smith, and Margot Robbie, among others, about villains becoming heroes. That comes out this August. Next July, we get Wonder Woman solo movie starring Gal Gadot and Chris Pine, which is set to be an origin story about Wonder Woman and her first feature-length movie, which I'm really excited about. Next fall, we will get Justice League, starring the whole crew, which they are breaking ground on and filming at the moment, which gets me really excited to see them all together. After this, we get The Flash, starring Ezra Miller in his own solo movie, early on 2018, followed that summer by Jason Momoa's Aquaman movie coming out in 2018, directed by James Wan, who also directed, Justin Lin, I think? No, it's James Wan, who directed Furious 7, is directing Aquaman. After that, we get Shazam, starring Dwayne Johnson, followed that year by Justice League 2. And in 2020, we will get a Cyborg solo movie starring Ray Fisher. And later that year, Green Lantern Corps, which will be a big Green Lantern ensemble movie starring multiple Green Lanterns, including Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, and Jon Stewart, debuting multiple Green Lanterns besides Hal Jordan. The DC Cinematic Universe is something I've been excited about since its announcement. Since forever, I love DC's characters in their entirety. I think they tell great stories. I feel like their movie department has been lacking in these recent couple of years, that they haven't been able to compete with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has been turning out good movies consistently, from Iron Man to The Incredible Hulk, to the divided movies like Iron Man 2 and Thor, and Iron Man 3, and Thor the Dark World, the 4 movies that divided people. While they had successes like straight successes like Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Captain America the First Avenger, and Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man being their straight successes, and their box office smashes in the forms of The Avengers, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Captain America Civil War, being blockbuster smashes for them. I really like DC's movie departments from the past. The Superman movies got really good until the first 2 Superman movies, Superman and Superman 2, were great. Superman 3 was iffy. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, awful. And that seemed to be a pattern in franchises, because the first 2 Batman movies were good. In critical eyes, I thought Batman Returns sucked. Batman Forever was deemed iffy, while I thought it was okay, and Batman and Robin is an all-around awful movie. But I feel the Dark Knight trilogy sort of breathed new life into DC's franchises, and because it was a success, along with their one-off Superman Returns, capping off the Richard Donner Superman sort of movie as a sort of like a cover swan song, I believe that their movies got good for a period, and then they went downhill again with movies like Jonah Hex and Green Lantern. Well, I love Green Lantern, and I loved Watchmen in terms of movies. Jonah Hex was awful, and their animated department has been great. I feel like their new movies, like Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, I thought both were good movies, but both have been divided. Have been good, and I can't wait to see the rest of the slate. I hope Suicide Squad is a success, and every movie coming out is a success, and I'm really excited about that. So, as the time runs down on our At the Movies countdown wrap-up, I want to take another look to remind you at what is coming up in the movies once again. So this weekend is Free State of Jones and Independence Day Resurgence, with next weekend being the BFG, The Legend of Tarzan, and The Purge Election Year, followed by The Secret Life of Pets and Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. The weekend after that is Ghostbusters and The Infiltrator, followed the next weekend by Ice Age Collision Course, Lights Out, and Star Trek Beyond, closing out the month with Bad Moms, Jason Bourne, and Nerve. Quick preview of what's coming out in August on the first weekend, which is August 5th, is The Founder, 9 Lives, and Suicide Squad, something I'm really excited about, followed by Florence Foster Jenkins, Pete's Dragon, and Sausage Party on August 12th. August 19th, we'll see Ben-Hur, a remake of the classic movie, Kubo and the Two Strings, and The Space Between Us and War Dogs, coming out on the 19th. Don't Breathe, Hands of Stone, and Mechanic Resurrection coming out the weekend after that, closing out that month. So that was your quick weekend breakdown in the box office preview. I'm sorry for that kind of interruption. I fixed it. But thank you for tuning into At the Movies with Cale Coles. This has been a really sort of sloppy episode, sort of sloppy week. But it's because this is kind of rushed out to try and cover the last 2 weekends. And I'm going to go see Independence Day Resurgence tonight, and we'll talk about that next week on At the Movies with Cale Coles. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. It's really fun to do these, and I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you tune in next week and go see Independence Day Resurgence or Free State of Jones or whatever movie you want to see this weekend. Just support your local theaters and the local community, and of course the big box office theaters. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I hope you all enjoy your movie-going experiences this weekend, and I hope you all enjoy your weekend. So, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been At the Movies with Caleb Coho. Take care.